In the early 1930s, the Soviet Union under Joseph Stalin embarked on a war against its own peasantry to force the collectivization of agriculture. While there were no traditional battlefields, the results were more lethal than many armed conflicts. The Holodomor, derived from the Ukrainian words for death by hunger, was a man-made catastrophe where food was systematically weaponized to break the spirit of a nation and a social class. The injustice was not caused by a crop failure, but by policy. The Soviet government imposed impossible grain quotas on Ukrainian villages. When these quotas weren't met, special activist units were sent to search homes, seizing not just grain, but every scrap of food, beets, pumpkins, and even seeds for the next year's planting. Internal travel was banned, effectively turning the Ukrainian countryside into a giant open-air prison where millions were left with no means of escape and nothing to eat. By 1933, the peak of the famine, thousands were dying every day. The state continued to export grain to international markets to fund industrialization, while its own citizens perished. This was a war of attrition waged with the ledger and the breadbasket, targeting the civilian population's most basic right, the right to life. The final layer of this injustice was the denial. For decades, the Soviet state suppressed all mention of the famine, destroying records and intimidating witnesses. Foreign journalists who tried to report the truth were often discredited. By erasing the memory of the millions who died, the perpetrators attempted to complete the destruction of the Ukrainian identity they had targeted with hunger. The Holodomor serves as a chilling reminder that the greatest wartime injustices don't always involve a single shot being fired. When a state turns its administrative and military power against the food supply of its own people, it commits a crime that echoes through generations. It is the ultimate expression of how ideology, when paired with total power, can turn the very soil that sustains life into a weapon of mass destruction.